years, right?
Yeah, it's been live for 59 years now. So
59
we've had our
years.
share of moments.
Yeah, moments. It's like, and it's what happens is when those moments happen, what do? Do you sit there and go, oh no, and sit in the corner and suck your thumb, or do you attack it head on?
Well, you do that for about 35 seconds. You can figure out what exactly you're up against. Then you better do something.
Then you got to jump in and attack it. The Business Leaders Live, every year we host an event with Business Street called the 40 Under 40. And we're getting down to the last week of nominations. So I want to put that in there before we start here, Peter. But individuals here in the Valley, and Vasily Soteropoulos, I think he was in our 40 Under 40 last year. And I think he's involved. Very involved.
Both his father and his mother.
Yeah, very involved. I can understand she's probably a really good cook, right?
Very good cook, and she made a bunch of what's sitting on your desk right there.
Beautiful stuff. And if you're watching our Facebook Live, and Peter, if you get it real close to the microphone, you can pull it towards you too a little bit there. You'll see some of the food. If you can go to Talk Radio 1680 KGED, you'll see some of these desserts that Peter brought. And the Greek festival it's starting. It's coming up. We're on the cusp of it. It starts Friday, correct?
Friday afternoon at 4 p.m.
Friday afternoon. I want to finish that thought too with 40 Under 40 nominations. If you know somebody, Peter.
Under 40.
Under 40. Yeah, under 40. That deserves to be recognized in our community. And there's probably a lot of people at the Greek Festival, hardworking people, volunteering their time working down there that would be great for that event.
Do you have 80 under 80?
Yeah, there's a lot of those, too.
There's a lot of those, too. Remember, volunteerism for a lot of these events, it helps to be retired. And fortunately, we've got people that have been working on this thing from age 5 to 95, and I'm not even exaggerating.
Yeah.
People work all summer on this thing, and actually until 2 weeks after the event, because we have to put it away.
Yeah, they put it away, yeah, and debrief and get planned for the future.
That's exactly right. You see, it's a 3-day business.
Yeah.
If you really look at it from a perspective, we have basically 6 months of prep, 3 days that we're on operating, and then we put it away in 2 weeks. And we try to do it in a week, but sometimes it doesn't quite work out that way.
And if you've lived under a rock, and then to close the loop also, too, go to 40, the letter U, 40.com. We don't have the 80 under 80, but we do have the 40 under 40 by businessstreetonline.com, and you can go to 40, the letter U, 40.com, and you can be able to put in your nomination, and the alumni committee will select the new class of 2019. You were mentioning 80 under 80. You have some people 95 years old, I'm sure, working there. Hardest working people there as a volunteer, I'm sure.
They don't have the stamina, but they're definitely hard working. And they sit there and they can actually do amazing things just by sitting there and barely moving.
Yeah.
A lot of these pastries take ungodly amounts of hours of work. I don't have the patience for it, nor do I have the fine motor skill set.
Yeah.
And it takes years to develop exactly how to do it right, consistently over and over and over. None of these are made by machine.
All by hand.
They're all by hand.
Beautiful.
And I think we made 72,000 pastries this year.
Wow. Talk a little bit about numbers. How many people attend the Greek Festival? And it's gone on for how many years now?
So this is the 59th. So
59th year.
We're prepping up for our 60th next year. And we're anticipating somewhere between 24 to 28,000 people this year.
And it's located at the church.
It's located at the church, which is on the southwest corner of First and Clinton, right behind the Fresno Art Museum.
Beautiful. And if somebody's lived under a rock, and everybody I've talked to, someone has gone to the Greek Festival that I've talked to, if they've lived under a rock, never had an opportunity to come see it and be a part of it, you don't have to be Greek.
No, if we relied on Greeks, it'd be a very, very small event. There are just not many of us here.
Yeah.
Well, number one, it's amazing to me. We average 50 to 60% newcomers every year. So, which I'm kind of surprised about. We get a lot of people that'll come every year.
Yeah.
And we get people that'll come, every third year, every fourth year, or maybe I haven't been in 15 years. Because let's face it, the last weekend in August is not exactly the coolest time of year to be in Fresno.
Yeah.
But with school starting, a lot of people are here, which is nice. And it's usually fairly hot, which kind of makes us the only game in town.
Yeah.
So for this year, for those that are coming for the first time, you will be able to beat the heat. We've shaded the vast majority of our event.
Oh, okay. So the whole back area is now
shaded? The whole
shaded.
back area is shaded. We no longer have asphalt baking in 105-degree sun. And so we're trying to make it an experience so that when you come in, the weight of the heat is lifted off your shoulders.
And you want to come back, you know.
Well, and frankly, I think this is my 10th year chairing the event. The biggest complaint I get is it's so hot. Well, yes, but that's also the complaint about Fresno.
Yeah.
And while we can't tent Fresno,
Yeah.
we certainly can do that at the Greek Fest, and it makes it it's going to make it a much more enjoyable event where you can come and you can stay in the afternoon. You can come out on Sunday afternoon and enjoy the music and not have to worry about your feet burning. I'm truthfully more excited for the volunteers that spend all weekend there, not getting fatigued from being in 150 degree blast furnace.
Exactly. Yeah. Then your volunteers are not being worn out. And I've always experienced it as a beautiful night to go out there in the evening and listen to the music and the food and, like you were saying, the pastries. And again, if you're joining us on Facebook Live, you know, I'm going to show a little bit of these pastries. Beautiful stuff. And like you're saying, they're handmade. You get to watch some of the ladies in there and the men in there that are working on those pastries right on the spot.
And we do cooking demonstrations throughout the weekend. And that's the thing. Oh, yeah, I love going at night. Well, they're huge crowds. Well, part of the thing is it's cooler.
Yeah.
The sun's not beating down on you.
Yeah.
And we recognize this. I mean, who doesn't? We live in Fresno.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about this year because we're going to make it's going to be a much different and I think improved experience this year because we're tempering the temperature. And also we're introducing some improved foods for people that thought we couldn't get any better. We've improved our Euro sandwiches. It will be undoubtedly the best one you've ever had outside of Greece. And we're also introducing a Euro Bowl.
Euro Bowl.
Euro Bowl.
So the people that are protein conscious.
Protein conscious, don't want gluten of the pita bread.
Yeah.
We have a rice bowl.
Wow.
So you get all the flavor, and actually I probably think it's the way to eat it myself. But
So the Greek Fest is getting a little bit bigger, a little bit better.
A little hipper.
A little hipper, getting involved with the times. I like it.
Oh, we even have a merchandise booth this year.
No, you guys are stepping up your game.
Oh, yeah, we're branding. We're
Branding.
we're branding. You know, it's amazing. People I see, you know, if you go to the gym, I'll see someone wearing a volunteer shirt from 15 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, pretty good marketing.
Yeah.
And people always ask us, hey, how do we buy your shirts?
Yeah.
Like, well, you could volunteer, which is usually our answer, but now it's
Yeah.
like, oh, we'll go right over there, and that happy man over there will get you your size and whichever one you want. Colors and kid slogan.
It gets you set up. Peter, so how did you get involved? One, you're Greek.
Yes, that's usually
that's
a
the
pretty
first
good way
step.
to get involved, yeah.
That's the first step. But as a kid, were you involved around it when you were a kid and then got to experience that?
When I was a kid, when I was a small child,
okay,
for many, many years, my father ran the wine booth. And it was a wine booth / soda booth / beer booth. But those were back in the days when it was 2,500, 3,000 people. And, of course, we still thought all of Fresno was there. And, you know, at 5 years old, you know, I'd be sitting there pushing the soda fountain thing, filling up with soda, little cups, and I'd, you know, be selling them off for 25 cents or 50 cents or whatever it was that they were making me charge.
Yeah.
And sure enough, of course, you know, like any volunteer event, everyone has an opinion on how you should do something.
Oh, yeah.
And so,
especially, and let me ask you, Greeks have an opinion?
We've had opinions for thousands of years.
Thousands of years, yes. And my Greek friends will tell you what they're thinking.
Exactly. And remember, we are always right.
Yes.
And so I would be there as a 5-year-old kid, and I was told, we'll fill this up halfway with ice, fill it with soda. So I do that. Then someone, a little old man, would come over with a mustache, bald head. No.
Yeah.
Fill it up with ice all the way. Then put soda in.
Yeah.
So I do that for a little bit. And then I'd get yelled at again for putting too much ice and not enough soda.
Oh, my. We're going to talk more about Greek Festival. We'll take a short break. Peter Vallis, the chairman of the Greek Festival. It's 59 years. 59. We'll be right back with more Business Leaders Live. You're listening to Talk Radio 1680 KGED. I don't have this computer's down for the count. There's nothing here yet. I don't know when Jose maybe moved it. Maybe you unplugged it. This one? It's that one, yeah. So there's something to do over here.
Okay, so the next segment's what?
Yeah, so next let's. Oh yeah, we're still on Facebook Live. Yeah. The next segment, let's talk about what is the events that happened during the time of the.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So what's happening on the first day, and what do people have to experience? And I think we're talking into people who maybe haven't been back in 5 years.
Perfect.
But also someone maybe's never been there. So they get to come.
I pull up the schedule.
Yeah, they can be able to take a look at it. About an inch out from him. Okay, perfect.
Okay. Is this good?
Yeah, much better. Yeah. So wherever you're going to position it, yeah.
Does that work?
There you go. Yeah, that's better.
Okay, hold
I
on.
can hear him real good.
Does that work?
Yeah. Before
Okay.
we would hear you, you'd slowly just go faint.
Okay, I'm sorry about that.
No, you're good. You're good.
I've been scrolling the
Oh, showing the pastries and stuff. Yeah, and show it on Facebook.
Eat one.
Which one is walnuts? This is walnuts, right? I'm allergic to walnuts, so I gotta be careful. Yeah, that looks like that's walnut.
Those are walnuts.
Yeah. And then this is the almond baklava. Oh,
Yeah.
my goodness.
We've only been making that for 2 years.
The almond?
Seriously, yeah.
Was it almond?
We were
baklava?
making chocolate chip, but we
Wow.
switched to almond.
Now, is there walnut in this too?
No, it's just almond.
Just almond. Okay.
Just almond.
Beautiful.
Man, bad internet here.
Yeah, it's this internet. And this, I think it's the building. It's like concrete.
Yeah. I have a plaster house, I understand.
Yeah.
Come on, schedule.
And we don't have to get specific too.
Okay,
If
well,
you want, yeah.
I effectively know what's going
Yeah,
on.
if you wing it.
If I don't, I have a problem.
Yeah. That's beautiful stuff. Somebody's calling. Oh, different show. Okay.
Did you guys run programming all day?
Yeah. Not late night, but and that is the only station that has live talk radio in the evenings. So
Oh, for people that don't want to talk to their spouses?
yeah.
We're still on Facebook Live.
Facebook Live, yes. It's always good. I tell people too, if you want to watch the real show, watch it on Facebook Live. You get all the good stuff.
Oh, yeah, you get the outtakes, you get everything.
You are listening to Business Leaders with Lance Cardoza, the behind-the-scenes story of the business shakers and movers in the Valley and beyond. Once again, here's Lance Cardoza.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Business Leaders Live. I'm sitting here with Peter with the Greek Festival. And Peter, you've been doing it more than a decade now, it sounds like.
Yeah, I guess I've been hurting us forward now for about 11 years.
11 years.
Think.
Now. But as a kid, before the break, we were talking about
I was a volunteer.
he was a volunteer, and there was, how many volunteers does it take to learn how to pour soda?
It takes a lot of bosses. A lot of Indians, not a lot. A lot of Indians, a lot of chiefs.
A lot of more chiefs. So you got every way of making a soda you knew how to do as a kid.
And just wait till you find out how many ways there are to roll a grape leaf.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
I stay out of that.
You stay out of that one.
Or
Yeah.
how many ways to spell most of the things that we produce.
Oh.
English,
Or pronounce it.
no, pronunciation's more or less the way it is. But
Yeah.
spelling Greek, transliterating Greek into English it can be territorial.
It could be very territorial, I'm sure, and everybody has their opinion about
Absolutely.
the way it is. What is the experience? And it's hard because you've lived it. You're living it. You're in it. But when you talk to people that come out to the Greek Festival, which let's remind people when the Greek Festival is.
So the Greek Festival is this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the 23rd, 24th, 25th. We open at 4 p.m. on Friday, 11 a.m. on Saturday, and 11 a.m. on Sunday. And
Okay.
so we try to make it as close to going to a village square in Greece as you can get by being in the center of California's fifth largest city. So we have you walk in, and we specifically walk everyone into the festival. The entrance is in front of the church because this is a church event.
Yeah.
And we have, I believe, an incredibly gorgeous church, and I think something that people in the Valley should get to experience and see.
Yeah,
It's
very beautiful.
breathtakingly beautiful.
Mhm.
And so you walk in, and actually, just like in Greece, there's always a church, and
Yeah.
you're always going to walk towards it because it's in the center of everything.
Mhm.
And then from there, well, then you got to figure out what to eat and drink. And there's a lot of options. Now, fortunately, we do have a map. We do have a program with, as one Facebook reviewer said, you have a very effective map, which I was really excited to read about because I didn't think anyone ever looked at our program.
So you liked all that effort.
I was really excited.
Yeah.
And so we do have a very detailed map, and we have food and drink throughout the property. So our property's kind of split it up into 3 different areas. We have one area that's kind of like a patio, quieter area where you can get Greek wine, beer, and get in line for savory, slow-cooked items. So your lamb shanks, your moussaka, which is an eggplant casserole, your pastizo, which is a bechamel, cheese, meat, pasta dish, spanakopita, which is spinach and wrapped in phyllo, Greek salad.
Incredible, yes.
And slow-cooked items that take hours and hours and hours.
Yeah.
So those are in one area. And then we also have our pastries in that area. Our pastry booth is legendary, and it is filled to the brim right now with pastries, which it won't be by
70-some thousand
72,
pastries.
I think we did this year.
Wow, and I'm holding this as almond baklava again on our Facebook Live. If you go to Talk Radio 1680 KGED.
Those were new last year, and they were very popular.
This is beautiful, and they're all handmade.
All handmade
Just very
from local
pretty.
almonds.
I mean, it's a beautiful art. I'm during the break on Facebook Live. I'm going to try one of these.
You know, everyone can
Yeah.
get walnut baklava, but almond baklava is special.
And I'm allergic to walnut, and I love walnut as a kid. It's just later I developed that, and I don't know why. So that's when I read almond baklava. I've always liked baklava, but I can't have it. And this, I can
now you
have
can.
baklava now. Yeah.
So we have the pastries, and then in that area we import a band from Greece. They're acoustic. They're well known all over the Mediterranean. Matter of fact, the last 3 months they were on tour in Greece, Cyprus. They even were doing stints in Turkey. So they're highly sought after.
Yeah.
And we are their #1 gig in the United States. It's really exciting.
Beautiful.
And then you pass through there, and then you get into the larger area of the festival where we have aisles and we have a little shopping village. We have our full authentic Greek taverna, which is our big bar. We have a band coming out of Los Angeles, Long Beach actually, that has big musical style and sound. Then we have our fast grilled street food area where we have things like souvlaki, which is meat on a stick,
Okay,
or my
yes.
personal favorite, lamb chops. We have lollipop lamb chops, and
I've
they're
had those.
they're
yes.
delicious, and they're always fresh. This year, our Euro sandwiches, which, of course, you can't have a Greek festival without those.
Yeah.
And this year, we've improved them. They are as close to authentic as you can get from Greece. We've really upgraded them, and I'm really excited about it because when I fly to Greece, the second thing I do when I get off the plane, after hailing a taxi that's, has a flat rate on it, is to go straight to somewhere to get a gyro.
Yeah.
And then, because of the craze of gluten-free, we're doing gyro bowls.
Euro bowls.
People that are on the non-bread kick but still want a gyro,
Yeah.
just like Chipotle. If you want it wrapped, you want it bowled, we got you covered. And so we're excited about that this year. Plus, we have Greek fries, which have become more and more popular every year.
So everybody listening to this right now and listening
hungry.
to the food, they're so starving right now. Wait, thinking about lunch. And so all this is happening this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You don't want to miss this. And you have a lot of people that come out every night. It's almost like a family reunion.
Oh, yeah. People come out every day, every night. Some people come all 3 days.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone yesterday that they're seeing George Strait in Vegas. She goes, my kids are furious at me for getting George Strait tickets, so we're going to make it back. Oh, you guys are open on Sunday. All right, we'll be back by 12:30.
We can make it.
We can make it. We can
Yeah.
go get our food fixed for the year. We bring in wines from Greece and the Fresno State Enology Club. They come and help pour. We even have Greek microbrews.
Oh.
And we put a microbrew area near our shopping area. So if you bring the wife out to go shopping, she can go shopping. You can sit there and enjoy the beer garden. And then we have about 1.5 acres of kids' activities, so you can actually enjoy the rest of your afternoon and evening.
So the whole family. And now
Whole
it's
family.
shaded back there in the back. And during the day, you can come out and experience the event, and you don't have to deal with the heat, if you remember from the past.
Oh,
So that's one of the big upgrades that you guys have
and
also
where
done.
we don't have shade, we have ungodly amounts of fog. So we're bringing in fogging machines.
the
to keep the
misters,
misters,
there's
and
mister- yeah.
fog.
Fog,
Misters
okay.
are a crude
Yeah.
form of cooling. Fog is the 21st century alternative.
Fog. We
Fog,
gotta check this out.
which is appropriate for Fresno.
Yeah, I
And
love
since
it.
we don't have as much in the winter anymore, we're trying to bring it back in the summer.
Beautiful. So it sounds like you guys are upgrading the experience and making it better and better. And I think you hit on something that's real important. And I believe, and I'm not sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Greek Festival was created, one, as a reunion there at the church to bring Greeks together and bring the community together to learn about the Greek culture. And is that part
Not
of the
really a
reason now?
reunion so much. It's really part of the Greek national ethos is to be hospitable and to feed people and to have people to your home and entertain them. It's just part of the culture. It's what we do on a routine basis.
Yeah.
You know, you show up at someone's house, and whether you're invited or not, within 25 or 30 minutes, there's these little food dishes that start popping up in front of you.
Yeah.
And then, you know, there's a bottle of wine or there's something else. And by the time you know it, you've had 5,000 calories and you're drinking coffee.
Yeah.
And so that's really what it comes from, a real imperative to entertain and be hospitable to strangers. Big
Yeah.
thing to be hospitable to strangers.
Yeah.
And so the festival came up with, well, here, we should have a fundraiser. Well, what are we going to do? Well, let's feed some people. Let's do this. So, and that's how it started. And, you know, a couple ladies would make stuff at home, bring it down there, and they'd invite, you know, the business people that they used to, you know, the guys would do business with or work with and
Yeah.
come down. And for years, for easily 30, I want to say for 35 years, 36 years, we did a Friday merchants lunch. Well, you know, in that part of town for most of those 35 years, there were a lot of merchants around there. So it worked out well. People could take an hour and a half, go to lunch, and everything was great. Well, you know, as Fresno has grown and moved and people don't have the 3 martini lunches anymore,
Yeah.
that became less of a profitable part of our event. So we kind of had to morph it into, all right, what do people want? What do people want to do? And really, after the recession in 2008, we discovered people aren't taking vacations. They can't. So let's give Fresno a terrific staycation experience. Let's really kind of morph it. And if you go to other festivals around the country, the really successful ones have turned it into a staycation for whatever city they may be in. Because Greece is not the easiest country to get to. I mean,
Yeah.
even though it's the, I believe, top summer destination for most Europeans and Chinese right now. For Americans, you know, it's a pretty sizable tariff to hop on a plane, go across the Atlantic, and then make your way into a country where all of a sudden the English signs are
Yeah.
in really small fine print.
Yeah. so through the years, it's morphed into that festival, that staycation, that, but what I like about it, because I like the education of culture,
Right.
and they love to talk to you about it.
Oh,
when you're there.
absolutely.
Yeah. And that's what I really loved. You mentioned the church and going in and seeing the beautiful church, and the name of the church is
St. George.
St. George. So in St. George, it is magnificent. And when you say it's like a crown jewel, it really is. It's a beautiful, beautiful church. And the culture is very exciting to hear about. And it's different when you live in it and you're around it all the time. But from the outside coming in, I'm Portuguese, and we do the Portuguese celebration. It was
Oh,
built
you guys
on
have
the
festas everywhere.
festas everywhere. And the women were doing it to feed the people that couldn't afford to eat, and the sense of community and pulling
Right.
everybody together to church. So very similar. So I'd love to hear the stories and the culture of the families and in the church itself.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we have tours of the church, which are, we started doing them a little while ago, and they've become packed. Every tour is packed. And you get a pretty good history lesson on Christianity, along with, wow, you get to see some pretty interesting art and why churches are decorated a certain way. Because really, no matter what denomination you may belong to, there's some basic tenets of Christian artwork that are almost universally followed.
Yeah.
And so we go through quite a bit of that. As a matter of fact, even on Sunday of the festival, we run church service. So we don't take a Sunday off just because we're out there having an
Yeah.
event.
Yeah.
We just start the moment it's over.
Yeah.
And we've found that a lot of people who are kind of interested, because, you know, the Greek East is a mystical sort of place and kind of shrouded in, you know, years of bewildering Byzantine
History.
and subterfuge.
Yes.
So people really don't know. And so it gives you an opportunity to come in, see what's going on, and then go even have a good time after. And we found quite a few people really enjoy seeing a Greek service, which is 90% in English,
Yeah.
and getting a taste for that part of the culture. and also see how seamlessly, and you can actually get this if you go to Greece, how seamlessly church is woven into daily life. It's not something you go to or make a big deal out of. It's there. You pop in, may say a prayer, and you pop out. It's there. It's pervasive within the culture, not overpowering, not overbearing, but just there. And really is a part of life. Oh, okay, well, that's a part of life. Just like, hey, you got to get your oil serviced, or you got to cook dinner, or you have to, play with the kids. It's just part of life.
Yeah.
And so as we try to develop a program of entertainment, of education, of hospitality, we want to make sure we're showing Greek culture as it is more or less today, as best as we can. Because, it's an interesting thing, ethnic groups, as they've immigrated to America, when people immigrate, they bring the part of their culture as a snapshot in time, their languages, their foods, their customs, as it was when they left.
Yeah.
And then successive waves of immigrants, remember, they're leaving that same culture after it's progressed. Nothing stands still. Nothing's monolithic. And so what we've seen is that depending on when your family immigrated from Greece, you'll have a different idea of exactly what is Greek or exactly what the culture is. But we try to transcend that and show the generalized ethos of what it is to experience going to Greece.
They have a little bit of Greece right here in Fresno.
Exactly.
And they have it right here and be able to experience it. And it really is. It's a beautiful event. And during this break, we're going to take a break. I'm going to try some of these beautiful almond baklava, which 72,000 probably plus desserts are going to be out there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The Greek Festival. When we come back, Peter will get more details so people will know how to attend the event. But I also want to talk about Greek wine. And
Absolutely.
I believe your family's in that business. I want to talk a little bit about that when we return right here on Business Leaders Live, Talk Radio 1680 KGED. Beautiful.
Those are good. I like them better than the walnut myself. Yeah, they're better. Walnut's a little bitter.
Yeah. And I've always grew up, my grandpa Portuguese, so my grandfather would go out and pull the walnuts down and crack them in the back porch.
And you could eat them.
I ate them. He just handed them to me and eat them. And then one day I had a walnut and brownie, maybe 15, 20 years ago.
New variety. That's why people are allergic to almond blossoms or almond bloom now. Those are newer varieties.
David, you got to try that. Oh, my.
It's good, isn't it?
Wow.
I like pistachio, too.
I've had this pistachio, and I think it was the Greek festival.
I've been trying to get us to do a pistachio thing again. But now those have no nuts in it.
There's down here.
They have no nuts. And those are walnut and and they're particularly good. And actually, I really like them when they're dipped in chocolate.
Chocolate?
But I can't get the ladies to do that. They told me if I wanted it, that I could do that myself. Yeah, I had them in Greece that way.
I'm sure chocolate.
They were just it's like a Snickers bar.
Yeah.
And actually, these freeze.
Oh.
Greek pastries freeze really well.
Just thaw 'em out. I've seen
Just
that.
put them on the counter for 45 minutes. They thaw. I mean, there's certain things my family won't. Actually, there's quite a few of them my family won't make. We buy them and throw them in the freezer. The ones that we don't make. The ones we do, well, they're always around because my mother-in-law and her mother just continue to make cookies.
Now, everybody on Facebook, I'm sorry, take the mic away, I always forget. This is incredible. It really is. This is the almond baklava. Oh, no, I'm going to chew on the air.
Crunching doesn't sound good on AM.
Oh, man, that's so good. That really is good.
Yeah, so I run the Wine Growers Association for the Valley,
Mm-hmm.
which really has nothing to do with Greek wine, but family's been in grapes and wine for about 700 years.
You
Or
mentioned
500.
Greek wine earlier about
so
at the event, so I'm
we
interested.
bring Greek wine in. I can talk all about it
Okay.
because I've had an interest in it for years now. Not
Okay.
particularly liking Retsina.
Mm-hmm. It sticks with me.
It does, and it is good.
Sorry about the coffee, too.
That's okay. I should have grabbed one. That was my mistake.
Sure, in the future. We used to have one here.
Nespresso. I'm telling you, they're perfect. Those Nespresso machines are great.
Mm-hmm.
No cleanup.
Wish
They do.
Giving you the inside story of business leaders in the Valley and beyond. This is Business Leaders with Lance Cardoza.
Welcome back, everybody, for Business Leaders Live. If you'd like to catch this episode and past episodes of Business Leaders Live, you can go to my website at lancecardoza.com and listen to past episodes. This episode will be up this afternoon at lancecardoza.com talking about the Greek Festival. It all kicks off this Friday and Saturday and Sunday. And if you were listening earlier in the show, there's a lot of improvements to the Greek Festival. Peter, you guys just haven't put it on cruise control. Seems like you're bettering the experience for everybody to come out to the Greek Festival.
Well, if you're not growing, you're falling behind. And realistically, we take quite a bit of pride in the event. We think it's not only good for the church community, we know it's good for the part of Fresno that we're in, East Central Fresno. It needs good things. And really, it should be, and I think has become a source of pride for the greater city of Fresno. At this point, we have the largest Greek festival in California. It's well regarded now around the country for
People
a lot of
travel from all over to come to our festival.
People do, and we actually get people now that come from other festivals to see how we do things. And we spent a lot of time years ago going, okay, how do we make ours better? So we went to the ones that were leaders and learned how to make ours better, and then went, okay, what works for Fresno? Because, Fresno's a market just like any other city, but there are things you can do in Fresno that you can't do in San Francisco or LA, and there are things you can do there that you can't do here.
Yeah.
And we don't have a lot of our own volunteers, so we partner with high school kids. We partner with community groups from around Fresno who donate their time, and then we help them back. And so we're able to contribute to a lot of good organizations, and we're able to have a lot of people to take ownership of our event. So, it's one thing for me to say, well, I'm the chairman of the festival, but we have a group of about 25 of us that work on this thing really all year long. Many of them work far more diligently than I do, I think. And then and they take ownership. And then we have the church community. We all take ownership. Well, now, because we're so integrated with people around Fresno, everyone takes ownership. So it's not the Greek Church's event.
Yeah.
It's Fresno's event. And we're just tickled pink to be in the middle of it. And because really, how many places in Fresno can you go where everyone's happy?
Yeah. Having a good time.
Having a good time.
Food. During that break, I've got to tell you, that almond baklava, and I couldn't because of my allergies. It's incredible. Woody's giving thumbs up over there.
It's a game changer.
It's incredible. Handmade, and it's incredible stuff. And that's just a piece of the experience that you have out at the Greek Festival. We were talking a little bit about, you mentioned Greek wine earlier, and you're very involved in the wine business in your day-to-day.
In my day-to-day life, right.
So, in Greek wine, I've never had it before. Give me a little snapshot of that.
So, wine has been made in Greece now, we think 3,000 years or longer. And Greek wine is most famous for something called Retsina, which most people have had and most people don't like. It's a white wine that is flavored with pine pitch. And, of course, our spiel has always been, it goes well with the cuisine. That's marketing.
Yeah.
And it's pretty poor marketing because Retsina, it's pretty rough.
Yeah.
And the reason that Retsina is the way it is, for 1,500 years, wine in the Mediterranean was shipped in jars around the Mediterranean, and the jars were sealed with pine pitch. This is before the Spanish and the Portuguese got big in the cork department. Well, it kind of stuck around, and it became one of those flavors of Greek wine. Well, flash forward to the 21st century, and the Greek wine business is, now that Greece is fully integrated with the European Union, winemakers there have been trained at the great wine schools and have come back to Greece and have said, oh no, we can do way better. And so there are fabulous Greek wines all over. We bring in about 14 different wines for people to try, running the gamut from sparkling wines that I particularly enjoy, and people are always shocked to find out they're actually from Greece. Rosés, red wines, white wines, even sweet wines, from all different regions, different flavor profiles with names most people can't pronounce, and they're delicious. And of course, naturally, one of the biggest grapes in Greece is something called St. George, so we have to serve
Oh,
that.
yes.
And of
You
course,
have
that's
to,
the
yeah.
house wine at the festival.
Nice.
But no, Greek wines, they're an experience. They're good. And unfortunately, there's not a huge market in Fresno for them, so they're kind of hard to get. So this is a great way to experience something you can't get anywhere else. Along with that, we also bring in Greek microbrews.
Yeah, then you were talking about that earlier. That was really interesting,
It's
too.
really interesting. We've been doing it for a couple years, and the microbrewery that sends the beer out, they have different beers for different days of the week. It's kind of fun. And so we kind of alternate which days we bring out. I think we're doing a new one this year and a couple we didn't have last year, just to kind of vary up the experience for people that really want to see, okay, yeah, everyone's seen the Mythos that we've had or this, that, and the other kind of the Heineken knockoffs. But, hey, these are craft artisanal things. Just like we bring in Cypriot halloumi, which is a cheese that you fry.
What?
It's fried.
A cheese
It's a
that you
cheese that you fry or can grill.
When is this happening?
The whole weekend.
All weekend.
The whole
Okay.
weekend. I mean, we bring in some stuff.
I love me some cheese.
We actually have a marketplace. You know, there's no Greek delicatessen in town.
Yeah.
So for people that have discovered some of the interesting foodstuffs that are pretty much from Greece, here's some great ways to get that. Olive oils. We have a huge store, and every year gets bigger with more varied items and really fun for people to enjoy.
So not only go out and experience it, but you can take a little bit of it home.
Absolutely different
Yeah.
cheeses. You know,
Yeah.
Greece is known for its array of cheese. You know, Greeks eat more cheese per capita than any other people besides the French, and they're very different cheeses.
Mhm.
About the only thing that we don't serve that one would expect to have in Greece would be yogurt.
Oh,
Greek yogurt's become pretty much everywhere,
yeah.
and so it's just not a big seller at the festival.
Yeah, it's not, you can get it anywhere.
You can get it anywhere.
Talk to me about cheese. So cheese in Greece, and I didn't know that, is
Greeks eat a lot of cheese.
a lot of cheese. So is it mainly goat milk that it's made with, or is
Goat
it also
milk,
cow?
sheep, and cow.
Sheep
All
also too.
Greeks have a very dairy diet, and if you even go to a grocery store, you'll notice there are different milks, and
Yeah.
so there's cow milk, goat milk, and sheep milk, and then depending on which one you like better, that's what you take home.
Yeah.
And of course, then you have cheeses made from all three animals, ice creams made from two of the animals. There's a lot of things that
Yeah.
dairy is a big thing in the Greek diet, and you know we have cheeses. There's a lot of cheese. You know, everyone knows a feta.
Yeah, the
Naturally,
feta cheese.
I
Yeah.
just mentioned halloumi, which is a Cypriot variant, but
Yeah.
there's a bunch of other ones that I could try to pronounce on television, but people wouldn't understand what I was saying.
So we could talk days about food and the
Right.
experience that you're going to have at Greek Festival, wine and the wine business. So that's where your family is works in a day to day, and you work in the wine business.
Yeah, so I work in the wine business, and I run the Wine Growers Association for the San Joaquin Valley, and so that kind of takes me all over the valley, dealing with making the valley a better place to grow grapes and make wine. And as far as we know, we've been involved in the industry for about the last 500-600 years, but there's really no way to verify that. I
Yeah,
suppose.
yeah.
But that's the story.
So we're really in our valley. We are a hotbed of wine
Oh, absolutely.
growers. Yeah.
Fresno is the epicenter of wine in America. The largest winery in the world's in Fresno, and 70% of all of the wine made in California is made within 70 miles of here. So, I mean, this is the epicenter, not just of wine, but agriculture. I mean, almonds. You know, part of the reason we have almond baklava is, hey, we're in Fresno. This is the almond capital of the world. We better have almond baklava.
Yeah.
You know, we have grape leaves that are stuffed with things for people to eat. Why? We're in the grape capital of America. You know, Fresno is uniquely positioned to take advantage of a lot of this stuff. You know, we don't have to go to a farmer's market to get something that's local here, because everything we eat is local.
Mhm.
And so we need to celebrate that and show the variety of things you can do with it. And Greek food, because it is relatively simple and the flavors are straightforward, you get a good ability to taste the ground from where your food's coming from. So when you come to Greek Fest, yeah, you're experiencing Greek culture, but you're also experiencing Fresno. You're experiencing the valley. You're tasting, you know, why we're here.
Yeah.
You know, agriculture is the Agriculture is the linchpin of our economy. Agriculture is the reason, the train stopped here originally in the 1860s.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to celebrate that and take advantage of it. We're in a beautiful place.
It's bigger than what people think. And in the wine business, are you experiencing a growth in wine business? Or is it at a plateau right now?
It's not at a plateau, but it grows, but it doesn't grow as much as it should, because we actually lose domestic market share every year nationally.
Yeah.
And, the industry has some work ahead of it to figure out how to mitigate that fact. And I think it's going to require looking at, okay, who's doing better, and pragmatically figuring out how we can do better. Because realistically, and I think we all fall into this, whatever I do is the best. We make the best wine. We make the best beer. We have the best fruits. We have the best vegetables.
They have the blinders on.
We have the blinders on. And I mean, that's understandable. We've been ahead of the curve for so long. But, we need to get out there and see things. We need to get out there and see the world. We need to get out there and see technology and eat things. Remember, in the wine business, what are we doing? We're making a beverage. We're making something that people want to drink. So I don't know about you, but the first time I had wine, I didn't particularly like it. And what was I told? You'll learn to like it. You'll learn to appreciate the flavor.
Yeah.
That's a terrible marketing strategy.
Terrible marketing strategy.
To give somebody something that you want them to drink and buy and tell them they have to learn to like it.
Yeah.
No one's going to do that, and no millennial's going to do that. They're going to flip you off and go the other way and go back to what,
back to what they are comfortable with.
Sipping a $15 craft cocktail that they may sip one for the next 10 minutes.
Peter, we have to take a short break, but you did it with the Greek Festival. You took a crew of people and said, let's go find people that are doing it right, and let's bring a little piece of that home.
That's right.
And the Greek Festival is this.
Our way.
Yeah, our way. And right here, Saturday, it'll be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're going to give you all the details on how to attend and how to be a part of that when we return right here on Business Leaders Live. Yeah, I think a lot of people get caught up in that, like Walmart. When Walmart first came, every retailer was hell-bent on destroying them. And I kept telling them, learn from them.
Right.
Just like Sam Walton walked into a fishing supply store. They didn't have the lure he wanted. And he asked them if they could order it. And they said, we don't carry it. It was whatever it was.
Right.
And he was mad. Mm-hmm. And he thought, I'm going to have a store that offers and if you ever go into Walmart today, every aisle for fishing is loaded with everything you can imagine, because that was Sam's thing.
Right. That
when he started Walmart, he was hell-bent to tell people, I will take care of the fishermen. When you're looking for what you want, you're going to have it.
Right. I mean, that's...
And that's, you got to learn from that. That's what drew people in the store in the first place. And Mom would come in when Dad was grabbing what he needed, and she left with more than what he was picking up.
Man, and now they're losing Amazon left and right.
Yeah.
Everything's cyclical. If you're not looking ahead or trying to figure out how to make things better, you lose.
Yeah.
I mean,
you got to create the better mousetrap all the time.
You got to create the better mousetrap, and also you got to keep looking. You cannot always have potential. You have to actually do something with it, because if you don't, there's no potential.
Yeah.
It's
And the other thing, I think people could dream about it, like you were saying. Somebody else is doing it a way that we would like to have it, but until you go experience it, and you feel it yourself, you want to bring it back. But until you go and see it and experience it and feel it, you can then punch holes in it. Like, we could do this better.
right.
They're onto something.
They're onto something. Or
Yeah.
the other thing is, but the first step is taking your blinders off and admitting maybe you don't know everything.
Yeah.
And paralysis kicks in when it's good enough.
Yeah. The entrepreneurial seizure is what I call it sometimes.
Yeah, Fresno's good at it.
You can't make a decision to move to the next level.
Just do something. And if you make a mistake, you can't be afraid of making a mistake, because you can fix it.
I apologize to Facebook Live. This is good.
No, I mean, it's but I say there's paralysis everywhere. I'm really excited. Fresno, I think, is finally that wheel's turned, and you can see it. And I just hope it sustains itself.
That we can believe we can, and we're doing it.
Yeah.
A perfect example is the Spitwise.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people don't understand it, but they're really a real estate company.
Absolutely.
that's providing a social environment for the millennial, the creator, the tech person that typically is our number one export, those kids that leave college and go off to experience San Diego, San Francisco, New York.
And
They
really,
know.
you can't blame somebody for wanting to do that.
Yeah. I've boomeranged and I came back. But now we're creating that experience to where people are coming here because of that environment. And really, they just have created the experience that people wanted.
It's market analysis. If you don't provide what the market wants, the market won't come to you.
Mm-hmm.
And after living here my whole life, with the exception of college, we have a market. All you have to do is build it.
Yeah, it's here. We have all the tools. When we come back, talk a little bit about the marketing of wine and how that's like you said, it's a terrible way of marketing. But what are the big companies doing now?
Okay.
You are listening to Business Leaders with Lance Cardoza, the behind-the-scenes story of the business shakers and movers in the Valley and beyond. Once again, here's Lance Cardoza.
Welcome back, everybody, to Business Leaders Live, right here on Talk Radio 1680 KGED. It's that time of the year. The 40 Under 40 is coming around the corner. It'll be held in December of 2019, where we honor the class of 2019's 40 Under 40. Nominations are open right now, where you can go online at 40.com and place your nomination on someone you feel that needs to be recognized for their work in the community, their civic leadership, and maybe it's a business that they've really just taken from the ground up and hustled and really making a name for themselves. So the 40 Under 40 is a great place to honor somebody by going to 40.com. Peter Vallis, thank you so much for being on my program, Business Leaders
This
Live.
has been great. Thank you.
Talking about the Big Greek Festival. I've met you before. I didn't realize that you were the chairman now over a decade, but you were down there as a kid working at the Greek Festival.
As a kid, and now I'm pushing 40 and going, wow. I'm looking forward to whoever is going to come up and replace me at some point.
Yeah. Who's next? Yeah.
Who's next?
Who's the next? And they take the younger people. They had all the energy. I knew I was in Rotary, and I remember my first year in Rotary. My second year, I was the president of the club, and I'm thinking, wait, how does this work? These guys have been here for years. I come in, and now I'm the president, and I was a 2-term president. And yeah, they saw young guys like, oh, yeah, he'll do all the work. And but I loved it.
But you know what I think a lot of us keeps us going is, who are we doing this stuff for?
Yeah.
And, taking pride in your culture only gets you so far. At a certain point, it's like, you know what? I throw a pretty good party in my backyard.
Yeah.
But then I see the kids.
Yeah.
And my son, who's 4.5, just absolutely loves this stuff. And he and his friends are so happy. And Greek Festival's coming. Greek Festival.
Yeah.
Daddy, I'm going to do this, 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 and this. Daddy, I'm going to do this, 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 and this.
Ah.
Daddy, this. Okay. All right. Okay. We got to do a better job for the kids.
It's good. Yeah.
It's got to be for the kids.
Yeah.
And you know what? Kids make people happy. And
Yeah.
kids are the future. And the more things that we can show kids that they can learn from and just get them to imagine bigger and better, well, that moves not the event forward. That moves society forward, and that fixes problems, and just it makes the world a better place.
And understand there's other cultures.
Exactly.
That's the other part. I think people sometimes they don't get to experience those things, to be accepting of those things and learn and have friends of another culture is an amazing thing.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, we're in America.
Yeah.
I mean, in America, we're all different.
Yeah.
We're all different, and we're doing different things, and we're moving in different directions, and we have different businesses. And you know what? That's beautiful. And it's great strength. And we can move forward and do a lot of great, wonderful things. And I think it starts with kids.
Yeah.
We got to expose kids to everything, because then they can decide what they want to be when they grow up.
Before the break, and that's a great point, and I think even with business, I like to always find a young mind that's got all these ideas and really wants to experience being an entrepreneur. And I love getting them young and talk to business people and be able to mentor a little bit and open their eyes to some of the realities of being an entrepreneur, where you I want to be an entrepreneur. I don't answer to anybody. And I've said this several times on the show. You answer to everybody is what you do.
You don't have one boss. You have 10,000.
Some bosses, yes. But the opportunity to create and own your own destiny is an incredible experience. And you can do that right here in the United States. You can do that with your brother or sister that is from a different culture and be able to be one people. And that's why I love these cultural events, so you can go and learn about someone else's culture. And you're going to find new friends when you go out to the Greek festival. And
you're going to find old friends, too.
Yeah.
You would not believe, you will never go to the Greek festival and not run into somebody you know.
Yeah, I've experienced that, yeah.
I mean, as busy as I am, I run into people I know, which is kind of gratifying since I do put the thing on. But you know, it's a great place to see people you haven't seen in a while, to meet new people. Because remember, if you're at something because you're interested in it, well, guess what? That person's, the guy next to you in line is also interested in doing something different. So you can, you know, strike up a conversation. I won't say our event doesn't have lines, and I won't say they aren't sometimes long, but I will say they move, and they'll move a lot faster if you grab a drink before you get in line and get to know the person in front or behind you or next to you in the zigzag.
Yeah, I think my wife, the last time we went, I was not even getting out of the car, parked in the parking lot in the street, talking to somebody, got to the gate, ran into somebody, walked in, ran into Kopi. You know, I was talking with Kopi. It was constantly running into somebody the whole time, but it was great. We had a great experience. And then the food, I wanted to spend more time looking at the food and eat the food, but had such a great time.
Well, here's how you do it, Lance.
Yeah, how do you do it?
Come on Saturday.
Okay.
Show up at about noon, have lunch.
Perfect.
Relax in the afternoon. Enjoy the music. Do some shopping. Then it's nighttime. Then you can have dinner, which means you can eat more food.
Yeah, you can eat more food. Give the details. We got about 2 minutes left here. It's the Greek Festival, people. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Peter, how do they...
okay, here's the 411.
What do you do?
Go to FresnoGreekFest.com. Buy your ticket online because we cut $1 off admission, and that makes it real easy. Print it out at home. Come straight in. We scan you, and we wand you and get you in. Now, for those of you that are a little more civic minded, if you bring a can, you get $1 off admission. So if you bring 6 cans, you get free admission anytime during the day. And we work with
cans being
can of food,
can of food,
non-perishable item, preferably something non-expired.
Okay.
And because we do work with I think Pavarella this year.
Okay.
They're taking probably a couple containers worth of cans, plus a percentage of those we actually keep on site for hungry people in East Central Fresno. We do have a food kitchen, food pantry there at the church.
Yeah.
And so this helps stock it for the year. And, make your way in like that. We also, if you have kids, don't want to give them cash, we do offer gift cards, and you can load them up at the event. We take credit cards, all of them. So don't worry about, I saw someone online saying, oh, make sure you bring your cash. We take credit cards, debit cards, everywhere.
So you can load up the prepaid card, and the kids can do what they need to do.
What they need to do, and if they run out, you can reload it.
Beautiful.
So we don't have ATMs because people don't need cash.
Yeah.
We try to make it easy. You want to spend money, we'll let you spend money. And realistically, we're open 4 to midnight on Friday, 11 a.m. to midnight on Saturday, and 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Sunday at 2219 North Orchard. That's on the southwest corner of First and Clinton in beautiful Central Fresno.
Beautiful. Peter, thank you for being on my program. Greek Festival, you've got to come out to it this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's all the time we have. We'll be on the air next Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. with Business Leaders Live. Perfect. Got a lot of good stuff. Yeah, you can also, if you go to lancecardoza.com.